Hello, dear students. Welcome to this week number 2. We're ready, so I'll be waiting for you just a few minutes. I'm going to start with the chat. In case you have any doubt or problem, just please share your name. And here we go with the session. I have here the chat, so please write your name, your full name, please. I will start sharing with you a presentation that I created for you because it's very important information we have to know. So I don't want to focus just on your activities because I really want to learn and I want you to be learning in this process, okay? So pay attention because this week it's not going to be that longer, but it's going to be very useful for you. This material is useful. So here we go. Okay, this is a presentation of week number 2. And I'm going to do it like with more opportunity to see it. Sorry, what's just this? Okay, this week, my life in another language. As we knew, this was the second week or session. So please, before we start with the content, I want you to, I want to share some details about sharing the link. I've been having some problems. They have been a few, but they're necessary because you have to share your link correctly in order to have your evaluation. Obviously, the file needs to be MP3, or you can use another one like a video or something, but avoid M4A, please. In the last opportunity you have to record your voice, you can use Vocado. So remember, you have to go to Google and search for Vocado. After that, you have to just put, well, there is some setting that you have to do, but after that, you have to play on the icon, and after that, you're starting to record. Obviously, you're going to need the microphone, and when you finish, you just stop it. After that, you get your link. You have your sharing link here. So please do it in that way in case you cannot get another file, just M4A. The session purpose for this week is explain the usage or structure of the topic simple past in affirmative, negative, and interrogative form. Specify the usage of verb to be in simple past and share some basic vocabulary for you in order to have a better learning about time expressions and just do. I'm going to clarify your doubts and let's start. This week we're going to start with the simple past. This topic, it's not that hard, but it's not that easy either. So you have to study it. And when we talk about the simple past, it's about actions that happened in the past and ended in that past. So there are two types or kinds of verbs. We have regular and irregular verbs. The regular verbs has like a rule that ending it's about adding ed or ending the ed because some verbs already include e, but you just need to add d. In this case, you have to make the verbs, well, you have to learn the verbs in the base form, but also in the simple past. And in this way, we're going to have regular and irregular, as I already told you. You have regular verbs and with the rule ed, and irregular, there is no rule to follow because they just can change and maybe they can't. So you're going to learn it by memorizing, and we can do many activities. We can see or listen or watch videos or music or anything you want to get to practice. So in this case, I'm going to explain some rules that are very necessary for you. As I already told you, we have an example here. A regular verb ends with ed. We have talk, talked, play, played. And then we have the irregular verbs. In simple past, we have from eat to ate, speak, spoke, have, had. So in order to have a better comprehension, we're gonna creators build some sentences. When we want to talk in affirmative way, we're going to use the line that it's in simple past. That column includes the ed. If you can see, we have irregular verbs and irregular. And at the top of this chart, we have the regular verbs, ed, ed, ed at the end. I have an example for you. In this case, close, cerrar. If I want to say that I did it in the past, I'm going to do closed. The pronunciation has its own rule, but I won't focus that much in that because I need your grammar structure very clear for you. So in this case, we're going to start and we have cold, and then we pass it to cold, leave, lived, and so on. So in this case, we have that conjugation. So we have irregular verbs, and after that we have be. And if I want to talk in a past, simple past, I'm going to be using was or were. For example, go, ir. If I want to say it in past, I'm going to say went. And there is something that I want to share with you. All the personal pronouns or subjects include the same structure. For example, in this case, we don't have to change anything or add anything, just the rules about the simple past. I mean, there are some rules in the present that we apply some rules, grammatical rules. So in this case, we have just to focus on the correct conjugation from present to past or past, present to future, something like that. So depending on the tense you want to talk about. And that's it. In this case, I just want you to know that when we want to make some sentences in affirmative way, we're going to use it in a simple past. First of all, we're going to choose the subject. This is the rule, the grammatical rule or the structure. Subject or personal pronoun. And after that, in this case, we can use I, you, we, they, she, he, it. We can include all of them. And after that, we have the verb in simple past. Lived. And complement in Mexico for a year. Si nos damos cuenta, en la forma afirmativa del pasado simple tenemos nosotros que las oraciones por afirmativas, por regla, iniciaremos con la estructura de primero poner quién realiza la acción, sujeto, pronombre o lo que queremos incluir, quién realiza la acción. Después tenemos el verbo, pero el verbo en este caso, en lugar de ser en presente, va a ser en pasado, de acuerdo a los dos que tenemos, regulares o irregulares, dependiendo del verbo. And after that, we have the complement. Después tenemos el complemento. Aquí podemos incluir la información que queremos. Podemos especificar el día que pasó esa acción o demás. Entonces, esta es la estructura para hacer oraciones en pasado simple. Negative form. We have the negative form here. And when we want to talk about the negative, we have to include something that it's kind of hard, but when you start practicing, it's going to be easier for you. So as soon as you start doing it, you're going to get it. First, if I want to say that I didn't do something in the past, si quiero decir que o negar algo que no pasó en el pasado, vamos a hacer sujeto o pronombre personal, auxiliary verb. Aquí en este caso tenemos el verbo auxiliar, did. After that, we have to include not. Ahora, el verbo auxiliar did va a ir siempre, porque es un auxiliar que nos está diciendo que estamos, la acción que vamos a poner, el verbo que vamos a tomar, que tenemos que ponerlo en la forma negativa, el verbo lo tomamos del presente. Entonces, el auxiliar a mí ya me está diciendo que es en pasado, por ejemplo. I did quiere decir que yo algo no lo realicé. Después de eso tenemos que poner el not, que ya sabemos que es para negar. O sea, el did me dice en qué tiempo estoy negando. Estoy negando en el pasado, porque do o don't o doesn't, que son la negación en presente, no lo estamos usando el did. Entonces, en este caso, lo que tenemos que hacer es, did me está diciendo, ok, es negación en pasado. Porque después tenemos el not. El not, pues obviamente me está diciendo que mi oración es algo que no pasó. Y como ya tenemos nosotros una negación y algo que me está especificando que estamos hablando del pasado, lo que vamos a hacer ahora va a ser agregar el verbo, pero de la forma infinitiva, es decir, de su forma base. Solamente voy a tomar el verbo, por ejemplo. En este caso tengo el verbo live. Entonces, si yo quiero decir que yo no viví, voy a utilizar I did not live in Mexico for a year. El complemento lo agrego si yo gusto, si quiero. Volvemos a lo mismo. Pronombre, sujeto, después utilizo el auxiliar did, después de eso pongo el not. Hay una contracción que ahorita se las voy a mostrar para hacerlo un poquito más corto. Y después de eso, como yo ya tengo con el did not, ya sabemos que es una oración en pasado y negativa. Did me dice que es en pasado y el not me dice que es en negativa. El verbo ya no necesito negarlo o hacer alguna conjugación o cambio, ¿ok? Here I have the structure. I did not live in Mexico for a year. Yo no viví en México por un año. There is a contraction. Hay una contracción. Puedo utilizar, en vez de decir did not, que son dos palabras, las puedo fusionar y hacemos el didn't. Didn't. En este caso, estaríamos negando y haciendo la oración, diciendo que nuestra oración es en pasado. El verbo, repito, lo tomamos de la forma base, no del pasado simple, como lo muestro en esta tablita. Si nos dábamos cuenta, a la hora de hacer oraciones afirmativas, usábamos la tablita del número 2, donde dice simple past, porque estamos diciendo que yo sí hice algo. Yo bailé, jugué, canté y demás. A la hora de hacer negación, como hay esta reglita gramatical que les acabo de enseñar, el didn't me está diciendo que ya no ocupo el verbo, moverle, agregarle, ponerle, porque ya con ese auxiliar y con la negación no necesito más, ¿ok? And if you have any questions, just let me know by the chat, okay? Here, I'm active. So in this case, we want to make some questions in affirmative and negative answers. We have to use auxiliary verb, which is did, and after that we have the subject or personal pronoun. When we finish with this part, we have the verb in infinitive is in base form, so there is no problem about it. Just take it from that chart and the first line and you're gonna get it. After that, you have to include the complement, and finally you have to add a question mark. And remember, in English we just have the only question mark at the end, not at the beginning. In this case, when we want to make some questions in affirmative negative answer, we include did at the beginning, and then we continue with the subject, verb, infinitive, complement, and question mark. Did you live in Mexico for a year? That's the question. When we want to make some questions like this, we have here some examples. Did you live in Mexico for a year? The way to answer that question, if you see, we are using did at the beginning. So you have the affirmative way to answer that, and it's yes, I did, because I'm using did to make the question, so I need to use did to make the answer. Or we can use the negative. No, I didn't. Did not or didn't, which is the same. WH questions. As I already told you in the first week, we have informative questions. So I want to get some information from you or from your family or any topic I want to talk about. So in this case, we use WH category or WH words. As I already told you, we can use why, where, when, what, who, how. And after that, we include the structure of the affirmative negative answers or questions in this case. As I already told you, you just have to add WH questions at the beginning, and it's just a huge change because you can start a question or making questions about informative topics or problems or situations you want to know. In this case, we have, when did you live in Mexico? When did you live in Mexico? ¿Cuándo viviste en Mexico? So the answer for this informative question is going to be like an affirmative sentence, like the first structure I explained to you. I mean, I lived in Mexico last year. Yo viví en México el año pasado. So, here we have the category. This is the structure. And remember, just the question mark, it's at the end. And this is the way to answer those questions. So, at platform, we have some examples. Did you go to Sandy's birthday party last weekend? ¿Fuiste a la fiesta de cumpleaños de Sandy? Yes, I did. ¿Por qué? Porque él me está diciendo, fuiste. Así que las respuestas son sí o no. Si es que sí, decimos yes, I did. And if I want to include some specific information, I can do it after doing the negative or affirmative statement or answer. Si nos damos cuenta, la pregunta que nos hacen es afirmación o negación. Did you go? Fuiste. Entonces, él lo que dice es, yes, I did. Sí, sí fui. O sí, sí hice eso que me estás preguntando. Yes, I did. Sí lo hice. Y después pone un punto y continúa dando información extra. Eso también lo podemos hacer nosotros, partiendo de una pregunta que es con afirmación o negación. Sin embargo, siempre debemos de cumplir con la reglita de responder cuando sea inicio con did. También la respuesta va a ser con did. Una vez que cumplí con esa pequeña regla, entonces puedo agregar cualquier información extra. Okay, as I already told you, did, it's very useful for you because we can use with different questions, and also with the negative form, we want to make questions or things like that. So did, it's very important. It is also the simple past of the verb do, but don't get confused with this. In this case, it's an auxiliary. So please pay attention to this. There is a rule for a specific verb. As we were talking last week, verb to be, it's like an apart verb. El verbo ser o estar, el verb to be, es un verbo que se conjuga de una forma distinta, va aparte. Es decir, no lo voy a conjugar de la misma forma del presente al pasado. De hecho, es un verbo irregular. Pero es importante que lo estudiemos con mucha atención porque hay una categorización en él. Es decir, tengo be en presente y was, were, cualquiera de las dos was, were, en pasado simple, lo cual me dice a mí que en was voy a utilizar algunos pronombres y en were otros más. In this case, we have this category. I, she, he, it include was. Si yo quiero decir era o estaba, voy a utilizar was con estos pronombres, con yo, ella, él o el objeto o animal. And we have we, you, they, y tenemos nosotros, tú, ustedes y ellos, o incluso podemos decir tú, utilizamos were. ¿Por qué? Porque la regla es así. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que debo de hacer yo? Estudiarlo aparte. Nunca mezclar was, were con did or didn't. Nunca. La conjugación del verbo va a ser aparte, pues. En este caso es como una excepción de todas las demás reglitas que les acabo de explicar. Entonces, if I want to make any sentence in affirmative way, I'm going to use this structure. I'm going to start with the personal pronoun or the subject. And remember, there is like a division there. So when you start with the writing of the personal pronouns or subjects, after that you have the was or were. We won't mix them. No usamos los dos, sino unos para una categoría y otros para otra. And after that, I can use happy, hungry, any complement I want to add. I was happy. Yo estaba feliz. O yo era feliz. I can use both meanings. Puedo usar los dos significados. If I want to make that question in a negative question, well, sentence, I'm sorry. I can use I was not or I wasn't. And it's the same for word. We weren't or we were not. It's the same. I wasn't sad. Yo no estaba feliz. O triste, perdón. I wasn't happy. Yo no era feliz. O yo no estaba. Recuerden que was y were se utiliza para era o estaba. Both. Cualquiera de los dos, ¿ok? And when we want to make some questions, it's the same. We're going to just first the auxiliary, in this case, where or was. And after that, we include the personal pronoun or the subject and the complement and the question mark at the end. If I want to make a question about informative to get some information from you or from any other people, I'm going to include WH at the beginning, okay? And the way to answer it's going to be the same. Here we have a comparison about past tense and present tense. Tenemos nada más como referente. Espero esto no los confunda más que aclararlo, ¿ok? En el caso del to be, el verbo ser o estar, la conjugación, les decía, es diferente. En el presente tenemos tres categorías. I am, yo soy, he is, she is, it is, ella es, él es, eso es. We are, you are, they are. Nosotros somos, ustedes son, ellos son. O también están, ¿ok? Ellos son, ellos están. Puede ser cualquiera de esos dos significados. Si se dan cuenta, son tres categorías. Am, con el que siempre va a ir I am. He, she, it, is. Y también tenemos we, you, they, are. Son tres categorías. Am, is, are. Pero a la hora de hacerlo en el tiempo pasado simple, vamos a utilizar solamente dos. Was y were. Be careful with the personal pronoun it matches because we cannot mix them. No podemos mezclarlos. Es importante que sí conozcamos bien la estructura, cuál va con cuál, y nunca mezclarlos. We can include some phrases or time expressions to specify the time the action was done or finished. In this case, we can use yesterday, ayer, last month, el mes pasado, last week, la semana pasada, or last year, el año pasado. We can include those words after or before, but it is more common like before. I was sad yesterday. Yo estaba triste ayer. But I am happy at the moment. Pero estoy feliz ahora. Si nos damos cuenta, el significado cambia, ¿verdad? And here we have the negative way, as I already explained it to you. We have an example here. I'm glad you finished your homework. Was it difficult? Estoy feliz de que terminaste tu tarea. ¿Era difícil o estaba difícil? No, it wasn't. No, no estaba. ¿Por qué uso el it? Porque estamos hablando de la tarea. Y en el caso de singular, de objetos o animales, singular, estoy hablando de un objeto o un animal, utilizamos el it. No utilizamos ni she ni he. And in this case, we can include more information after that. Podemos nosotros también incorporar después de contestar yes or not, dependiendo, podemos incorporar también información. Expressions for past tense. As I already told you, you can use last night, la noche anterior, last Sunday, el domingo pasado, last week, la semana pasada, last weekend, el fin de semana pasado, last year, el año pasado, last month, el mes pasado. We can use also ago. Cuando ustedes vean ago, es como decir hace. 10 minutes ago. Casi siempre, bueno, por lo general va al final. Se dice la expresión de tiempo y luego ago. An hour ago. Hace una hora. A la hora de hacer la traducción o el significado en español, pues se voltea, ¿no? 3 days ago, hace 3 días. A week ago, hace una semana. A month ago, hace un mes. A year ago, hace un año. Yesterday. We can use just yesterday. Podemos usar ayer. Pero si queremos especificar en qué horario de ayer, podemos decir yesterday morning, por la mañana, yesterday afternoon, ayer por la tarde, yesterday evening, por la tarde-noche. And if I want to talk about, si quiero decir antier, usamos the day before yesterday. Used to. This expression, it's, well, we have the verb use that is regular. And as you can see, we use it like when we start with the verb use and I want to do it or use it in the simple past, I'm going to include used. So this expression, its meaning it's very useful because it helps us in the simple past. it helps us a lot to express some habits or things that we should, well, used to do. I'm gonna try to describe the same word with the same word. Used to quiere decir solía. Es la oración que decíamos solía hacer, solía bailar, solía cantar. So here we can use used to for all the personal pronouns or subjects. We start with I used to drive. Yo solía manejar. The verb we include it's in the infinitive or the base form. It's the same. So we just get it from there. We don't make a conjugation from present to past or future in anything. So in this case, we just add the personal pronoun. Then we have used to, and after that in action. I used to read. Yo solía leer. She used to dance. Ella solía bailar. So in this case, it's just an expression you can use. And the activities, we have the formative activities. And the number one, you're going to be talking about Elvis Presley. So in this case, you have to go and try to search the, well, I'm going to share with you a chart which is about verbs, but I want you to be searching the simple past of these verbs, the conjugation. You're going to try to take it from present because you can see the verbs that are in simple present or base form, actually in base form, not in present, in base form. So you're going to take it and you're going to try to make a change there about the tense, using it into or convert it into negative simple past. I'm sorry. Maybe you can use negative, but in this case, as I can see, you can use just the verb and try to change it into simple past. Remember, there are two types of verbs, regular and irregular, and here we have them mixed them. So after this, we have to complete a conversation, and in this conversation, you're going to be using the auxiliary did or maybe was or were, depending on the conversation. Integrative activity, a happy day, and this week you have to share a story that it's about a text which includes the happiest day of your life. You're going to describe what happened, how you felt, and why you felt that way. I mean, if you were happy, why you were happy. Add a picture. You're going to add a picture. You can use a real or illustrative. There is no problem if you just take one from the internet, but remember you have to share the author or all the information about the author. Answer the question, why is it important to know about past events? Remember, you have to respect from 5 to 8 lines. So in this case, at the end, you're going to include the audio link. And remember, please record your voice and share the link, but don't share your space. When you want to share, you have to see that at the last part you include the word sharing because it's compartiendo. So please be careful with that and with the file. M4A, it's not very easy to be listened. So try to include MP3 or maybe a video or maybe a link that, I don't know, maybe redirect to any page where I can listen to it. As I already include with you on this session, I already include some strategies. In this case, you have Vocaro in case you want to use it. So there is no problem about it. We have making my family timeline, the activity number 4. And this activity, it's about, you're going to write 10 questions in English. And the same questions are going to be in Spanish in the second line, because I want to know the real meaning or real intention or idea you want to share. So in this case, you have 10 questions and 10 answers. After this, you have in English and Spanish. I mean, 10 questions in English, 10 questions in Spanish, which are the same. And then we have to interview a family member. If you cannot do that, just create your own answers. There is no problem if you just invented or just made them. So you can just give some unreal information. There is no problem, just include it. In this case, when you finish, you're going to write the answers. In case you could do it, you're going to include your answers. And after that, you're going to write them in English and Spanish. So when you finish doing this, you're going to explain your experience about listening your family's story in a 5-8 line paragraph. When you finish, well, before we continue, remember there are two types of questions, informative or affirmative negative. So you can use WH or did or was or where, depending on the personal pronoun. When you finish, you're going to create a timeline incorporating the events in chronological order. You're going to paste it. If it is like something very hard for you to upload the activity because of the weight, you can just share the link of your timeline. And when I click on it, I redirect my searching to the timeline. So if you don't want to include it like an image or something like that, you can just share the link. And so I can go to try to look at it. After that, you're going to record your 10 questions in English and the 10 answers in English. I don't want you to be listening in Spanish. I don't need it. And in this case, you're going to continue with the learning pattern. So in this case, you're going to express and request information about activities or situations that occur in the past using the structure of the simple past. You're going to tell me actions or things that happened in the past. Remember, practice as much as you can the simple past. After this, you're going to share with the community and write in English about what you were doing before starting the stage, educational stage. And what motivated you to study your high school in this modality? I mean, maybe you were working, you didn't have enough time to go at a presence modality or something like that. So you're going to share that kind of things. If there are any questions, just let me know, guys. And it's time to express yourself. If you have any question, you can send a message, or you can also, as I do in the feedback, as you can see, I share some link and I just give you a feedback about your oral skills. So speaking is very important. So I do that so you can improve. And if you want to ask any question, you can do it orally too. So in my case, that's it. I'm so thankful for your attention, and I hope all the things that I did today and I explained were so clear. And about the timeline, okay, you can include an image with the fact. Pueden incluir ustedes una imagen para cada una de las etapas. Puede ser ilustrativa, no necesariamente. Hay algunas cosas, unos ajustes. En el caso de que ustedes no tengan fotografías reales, no hay problema. El hecho es poderlo ilustrar. Entonces pueden tomar de internet, pero siempre agreguen de dónde lo tomaron, porque recuerden que, les decía, tenemos que respetar mucho derechos de autor, y a pesar de que estamos en medios virtuales, pues hay personas que se toman su tiempo para crear y elaborar ilustraciones y demás. Y la otra es que si ustedes no viven con alguien o en alguna de las actividades se les pide hacer, por ejemplo, en este caso, la entrevista, pero pues estamos con la cuestión de la pandemia y esto es por motivos de seguridad de todos y de salud, pues principalmente, si no pueden ustedes ver a algún familiar o visitarlo o hacerlo tal cual, ustedes mismos elaboren las respuestas. No va a haber algo como una comprobación de que en realidad lo hiciste. Aquí de lo que se trata es de que ustedes practiquen lo más que se pueda. Cuando haya actividades, y lo adelanto desde ahorita, si hay alguna actividad que implica la elaboración o la participación de otra persona y ustedes no tienen la posibilidad, no hay problema alguno. De lo que se trata es de que ustedes puedan practicar y aprender. Okay, in my case, that's it. En mi caso, pues es todo. Patricia, thank you so much for your question. And if you have any doubt, just let me know by the message or by platform, you know. Chicos y chicas, muchas gracias. Y gracias para quienes en este momento no estuvieron, pero estoy segura que en su tiempo, de acuerdo a sus posibilidades, pues van a poder ver esta sesión. Seguimos trabajando y cualquier duda, problema, no duden. Con toda confianza y con toda amabilidad, de verdad les voy a responder. Y aparte, pues estamos en proceso. Es válido equivocarnos, pero lo que no es válido es que terminemos igual este módulo que como iniciamos. Así que por mi parte es todo y en caso de cualquier duda o problema, pues quedo a sus órdenes, ¿ok? Goodbye, have a good day.